Alright everyone, poor Sadiq Khan's had a rough couple of days. First, you have the protests over in London because Trump is visiting. Now the main protest actually went off alright. It wasn't nearly as big as some people were saying. Some people on the left were like, whoa, there's like 500,000 people in the streets of London. No, bullshit. I'm looking at the pictures. You'd be lucky if it was 50,000. Yeah, but it's still, at least it's an actual protest. The problem is nobody really, I didn't even know that that protest was going on. Everyone here was focused on the Trump balloon because Sadiq Khan talked about it and you all talked about it and how great it was going to be. And there'll be like 20,000 people and it's a big ass balloon. It's going to soar over London and remind Trump that he is a piece of garbage. That never happened. There were maybe 2,000 or 3,000 people at peak there. Most of them milled around for a short time and then left. The balloon, most of that time, was next to the ground, and for the brief moment where it was up in the air, it certainly wasn't soaring over London. It was a couple 100 feet up. Most people could never have even seen it. It was being blocked by trees and buildings. So everyone was focused on that, and they were like watching the stream. I'm not surprised that the comments were off on all the streams coming from the UK, because I can imagine that the comments would have boiled down to, haha, Trump wins. Hashtag MAGA. Oh, look, it's Sadiq Khan's balloon. Wow, it's a lot smaller than I expected. You had a bunch of people on the left fixated solely on this as though it was a world-turning event. Oh, it's going to be a big balloon. No, it wasn't. It was like, you know, maybe, what, 15 feet across. It's not the Goodyear blimp. So, despite the fact that you actually had a more viable protest going on at the same fucking time, which might have something to do with it, everyone was focused on the one that totally failed. So what ended up being the news? Oh, Sadiq Khan, basically, the day after, getting reamed because he ignores the problems in his city. You've got knife attacks. You've got the moped mafia, apparently newsworthy over there because it's common enough. You've got shootings. I'm not sure how, since you're a gun-free paradise, supposedly. London is rocked by a wave of crime. Now, one thing that the left says to defend poor Sadiq is, well, the UK's crime overall is low. Yeah, it's also low overall here in the US. If it weren't for a handful of metro areas that are rocked by gang violence and cartels, we would be as safe as countryside Switzerland. Like here in small-town America, like when's the last time there was a fatal shooting in Rutland County? I don't even know. Probably it might not even have been in my lifetime, other than justifiable homicide, of course. We have a duty to retreat law in this state, so that's not common either. Which, by the way, I think is bullshit. I think it violates the Second Amendment and the Fourth Amendment. But no, we've gotten to the point. People want to rip apart crime statistics and sort of pick and choose what they believe. Okay, well then let me do the same. That if it weren't for like Flint and Detroit and St. Louis and Houston and a few other urban areas here in the U.S., and Los Angeles and Seattle, hey, there's almost no gun crime at all, and a third of that gun crime is suicide, so why do I care? Shouldn't even be illegal. Europeans don't count suicide in with the gun crime rate. It doesn't make any sense. And of course, in the UK, it's more you slit your wrists or hanged yourself or took a bath with the brave little toaster, I guess. That's sort of what goes on. Sadiq Khan ignores the crime wave rearing its ugly head in his city and systemic poverty in parts of London and every other problem, and instead injects himself into world politics as though the mayor of London was qualified to speak on major international issues. No, you're not. You're the mayor of a city. It may be a large metropolitan, very cosmopolitan region, but you're not an international politician. You're paid to represent the people of London. Which may, you know, it's because they tend to be far left, of course, you represent them quite well. It's sort of like with Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders is piss poor at international politics. He has no idea how to run a fucking economy. He has no idea what he's doing. But he represents the average Vermonter very well because they tend to be very far left. I'm in the minority in my state. It's a heavily blue state. Insofar as he's representing Vermonters' wishes, he does a great idea. It's just that a lot of those Vermonters have shitty ideas. That's just the way that it goes. You know, no offense, but if you believe in Bernie Sanders' magical ice cream economic policies, that's brain dead. They're not going to work, especially not on a national stage. You want to become Venezuela, great way to do it. Yeah, it's definitely real socialism. All the people keep saying, no, he's not a real socialist, he's a social democrat. Fucking bullshit. Yeah. Ocasio-Cortez isn't really a socialist. Yes, she is. Yes, she absolutely is a socialist. She's just socialist light. You are so far left that you don't think that her policies are socialistic, even if they are. But they quite clearly are. They're redistributionist in every way, shape, and form. But here's the thing. Sadiq Khan is crazy. It's like when he was first elected, I found it funny because the same people who were like, fuck religion, burn the church, they were crowing about how wonderful it was. Oh, the first Islamic mayor of London. Then in the same breath to defend him, they say, but he's not really religious. No. Those swimsuit ads on the side of the buses that he banned, the very revealing ones with women in lingerie, he banned those, but it wasn't because of any moral religious beliefs. It's because of body image. He didn't want people to get fat shamed. Bullshit. Complete bullshit. Politicians are capable of lying. They like say, well, he was a proponent of gay marriage, so? Like he's not able to say that opportunistically to get elected while not caring about the issue at all because he's actually is religious? Oh, so religious people can't lie. Okay, well then mega church pastors, they never have like affairs and shit. These people are full of shit. Sadiq Khan is full of shit. And he ran a shitty protest. He wouldn't allow a counter protest in favor of Trump. He didn't greenlight it. I wonder why. It's because he's politically motivated. He's just a fucking leftist. An actual leftist, not like a neoliberal. He actually does believe in redistributionism. Because he's a communalist in maybe the spiritual sense. Absolutely. Sadiq Khan has lied to the people of London. He's ignored the actual problems there in favor of spending several days just talking about a fucking baby balloon. Yeah, that balloon, it cost $30,000 and flew for a few hours. This is why government centralization is a bad idea, because everything is more expensive than it should be. And nothing goes off as well as it should. It's a great example of central government fucking failing. Because think of it this way, this is basically Sadiq Khan's side protest. He's not the one orchestrating the main march, it's like that's different. Then he comes out. This was the funniest thing of all. He's like, oh, can you imagine if we had a society where free speech was suspended simply because somebody got upset at something? So I had to greenlight this balloon. What are you talking about? You are constantly talking about wanting to deplatform the haters and anyone with a certain view should be silenced. That's what the UK is about. What fucking free speech? There is none in the UK. There is none. There's no free speech whatsoever. It's not codified anywhere. The very concept appears to be a foreign concept. It's like over here, yeah, the First Amendment, people sort of march to the beat of their own drum if they want to. It's a little less moral haranguing. Over there, it's like, oi mate, you got a license for that opinion? It's ridiculous. That's what Sadiq Khan believes in. He doesn't believe in free speech. But he's going to use it as an excuse for a shitty protest that failed. And the reason why at the same time a counter-protest isn't allowed. Oh, you can't march for Trump, you can only march against him. Well, yeah, free speech my ass. That's basically what I would say. That's about all. Peace out.